these technicians, I mean, these guys are just, they're really the heroes behind the team. They work for 20 days, they live in tents, in the ablution blocks that everybody shares, and you've got to understand that the bivouac is never quiet, because although we were one of the leading cars, or one of the leading teams, and the cars arrived between 4 and 5 in the afternoon, and these guys were obviously already set up to work on the cars. On average, they worked until anything between 10 and 2 in the morning, depending what the cars needed, what repairs they needed. But the stragglers coming through into the bivouac all night through, so they'll end up maybe with 2 hours proper quiet sleep, and then they're in the vans and in the trucks the next day to the next point. So it gave me an insight of team unity like no tomorrow. Hard work between the teams, the team members. Take a lot of punishment. I mean, the drivers also, they've got to be careful, because you abuse the gearbox or differentials, side shafts, that they take a hell of a lot of punishment. There's all specially designed parts. Just to give you an idea, in comparison, Janelle and Duncan, they're relatively kind to technical equipment. They changed the gearbox at the halfway point last year, and Janelle said the original gearbox actually felt better than the new box. So the next day they went back to the new box. So they both finished the full Dakar on one gearbox. The minis, which they ended up winning, they changed gearboxes every second day. But there again, they were totally different spec motor cars. You know, the Hiluxes ran a standard engine, which they ran this year's specification technical rules, if you want to call it that, where the minis ran still the full-blown race motor, which produced massive amount of torque and horsepower, obviously. And that transferred through the gearbox and the differentials and side shafts. The wear and tear is a hell of a lot higher. So this year they've had to go back to our rules. So quietly confident, the cars will be a hell of a lot closer. They'll be very close to each other. Last year there was a bit of a disparity, but technically wise the cars will be very close. So we are hoping for a real good race, and we are hoping for a decent result, hopefully better than last year. There's a physio that goes with the team that takes care of the two drivers and navigators at the end of every evening, because you can imagine you're strapped in for 200 kilometers of liaison, sometimes longer, and then obviously you've got anything between 200 and 400 or 500 kilometers stage, which it is phenomenal. You can't believe the conditions that these guys drive in. Dunes obviously a little bit softer, but the concentration levels are just that much higher, because the guys say that you'll end up in the dunes at a certain time of the day with an angle of light, it looks flat. So it's very easy to go off the side of a dune at a horrible angle and obviously roll the car. So those levels of concentration are just amazing. Obviously then the high temperatures of 60 degrees in the cabin, from a driver and navigator point of view. They drink anything up to, I think we're talking about 5 or 10 liters per day in the car.